Hi, I'm Andrew Boast, and one of the most complicated decisions you have to make when buying a house is who you're going to use and trying to find the best conveyancing solicitor. Historically, you would use your family solicitor, who would handle all the matters for your family. That would include buying houses, dealing with wills, dealing with probate, maybe even a divorce. They would know the family and know the family history. However, since the late 90s, we've all started to move around a little bit. So we move away from the family network and we've moved more towards technology. And in this environment, more and more people are looking for other ways to find a conveyancing solicitor. There are three main ways of finding a solicitor for buying or selling a property. One, it's a referral from an estate agent or a mortgage broker to a solicitor that they use. They normally have a commercial arrangement set up where for each referral they will get paid a sum of money for introducing you to that solicitor. This will need to be declared to you in their terms and conditions, and sometimes can mean that the solicitor's fee is more costly because of that referral. Two, and probably the best one, it's a referral from a friend or a family member. This is where they've already used a specific solicitor before and they were good enough that they would like to say, how about go use them? And a referral from a family and a friend normally don't refer you to people who don't do a good job. Three, and this is becoming more and more common, that's where you do a Google search, typing in best conveyancing solicitor, and you'll have a whole variety of results for that search term in your local area. And this is where I will help you decipher which are the best ones to use from your results. The biggest mistake you can make is choosing a conveyancing solicitor based on them being cheap. At the end of the day, there are three things that you're really looking for. You want a good price, you want a quality service, and you want it done quickly. You rarely get all three. They could be cheap and good quality, but they're not going to be very fast. This is why you can't just focus on a cheap conveyancing quote, because at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. Good communication is worth its weight in gold. In my opinion, the best indicator of how good the service is going to be is from the word go when you try and get a quote. How easy was it to pick up the telephone and speak to someone about the quote, to ask them how long the process is going to take, or is that a fixed fee, or is it a no sell, no fee? If right at the outset you're really struggling to speak to someone on the telephone, or they don't have enough time or don't show enough knowledge, then you may well actually have a good indicator to know what the whole process is going to feel like when you start instructing them. Knowledge and experience. I've heard on so many occasions the words, "This is a simple transaction." And today I've yet to see a very simple transaction because there's too many people involved with too many risks and too much that can go wrong in the conveyancing process, which is the reason why it's so fundamental you have someone who's got experience and knowledge. To find out if they are going to be a right fit, what you're going to need to do is ask questions at the outset. Ask them, how is it going to happen throughout the process? How will you communicate with me? How long do you expect this transaction to take? Have you ever encountered issues with the Building Safety Act? Or how do I extend my lease? Or anything that you would like to know about your specific case, ask them at the outset and find out whether or not they've got a good enough knowledge to give you confidence that they're going to be the right fit for you to help purchase your property or sell your property. Local's not important. Having a local solicitor used to be important when you used to have to go in and see your solicitor face to face, collect documents, prove your ID. However, that's all faded away with technology. Nowadays, law firms are using up-to-date technology to do online ID. They have portals where you can load documents. They'll even send your documents via email for signing. The need to go into your local solicitor's office has gone. And the conveyancing process is set to become even more digital over the next couple of years. With the signing of legal documents digitally with electronic signatures, you'll find that the focus is, can my solicitor do the job? Are they experienced in knowing what to do on my kind of transaction over having someone in your local area? Conveyancing Quality Scheme. It's an annual application where a solicitor has to prove they have the competence, the risk management, and the client service levels to be a part of the scheme. It's a very important thing to be a part of. Having the Conveyancing Quality Scheme badge, or CQS, in essence is saying that that law firm handles a large number of conveyancing transactions and will have experience and knowledge of a variety of transactions, which will be very useful to you. Read the reviews. You need to read the online reviews for any law firm that you're going to be instructing. That's Trustpilot, FIFO, Google. Look at the good ones, look at the bad ones, and if there are any bad ones, actually have a look at the responses from the law firm to the bad ones, because there are two sides to every story, and conveyancing is not a simple process. So it's always good to see how the firm handles bad reviews to assess whether or not you would like to work with them. Warning signs. Here are my top 4 warning signs that would indicate you're not going to be working with the best conveyancing solicitor. Number 1, if they're too cheap. If their conveyancing quote for buying or selling a property is £600 or less, warning alarm bells, because they won't be able to do it for that price, or the quality or speed will fall. 2, you can't get hold of anyone to speak to about your quote. If you're struggling to speak to someone about your conveyancing quote, then you're going to struggle to speak to someone about your conveyancing transaction. I definitely wouldn't work with someone if you couldn't speak to someone about your quote and about your specific transaction. 3, if the law firm you're looking at has had a number of bad reviews fairly recently in a row, it's an indication that maybe one of their good solicitors has left and they're maybe playing a bit of catch up on the caseloads. So ask the question to the solicitor or whoever you're getting a quote from, will this impact your transaction? But it is a warning sign. 4, if they're not CQS. If they're not CQS registered, it means that they handle a very few number of conveyancing transactions and will likely not be on a lot of mortgage lender panels. So really you're looking for the CQS badge to know that your transaction is going to be handled by someone more competent to handle a conveyancing transaction. Don't go cheap. Speak to the law firm about your specific transaction and your specific needs and timelines. Don't worry about the law firm not being local. Make sure they're CQS accredited and check their online reviews. If you have any property challenges, leave a comment below and let's see how we can help. Thanks ever so much for listening.